skyline has cleared up because there's so little traffic out there right now. It's pretty amazing.
Remember George Carlin talking about humans being like fleas on a dog, and he had a skit where he talked about one day the Earth was the dog, and one day it's just going to shake us all off, and yeah, then George Carlin. And there's probably that's all we can say about it on the radio this morning.
Yeah, other than his 7 words. Hey, listen, you and I have talked a lot, and I'm a little surprised because in what we've talked about and in some of the material that I've looked at, you're an eye doctor.
Yes, I am.
But you do a lot of looking into researching the immune system.
I do.
And, you know, to say somebody's an eye doctor, I know there's a lot of training involved in that and a lot of schooling, and a lot goes into being able to look into the eye and figure out what's wrong and all of that stuff. But why the immune system and so much time?
Well, as you said that, just what popped in my head was Miyagi and the Karate Kid. Remember, he had him wash on and wax off and do this and do that. And next thing you know, he's a karate specialist. And so what happened with me is...
I think that was a movie, though.
But what happened is I'm in the pursuit of being a better eye doctor. I started washing on, waxing off in terms of learning how to better approach the eye by looking at things globally. The eye is part of the body. The eye is part of the brain. The eye is part of the stomach. And so if you're, in my opinion, this is my belief. It doesn't have to be someone else's belief. It's my belief that it's my job to optimize your ocular health at every age and disease state. So if I inform somebody at the age of current to, let's say, quit smoking, they're going to have a better chance of having a healthier retina 10, 20 years from now.
Sure.
Okay. And
because the smoking affects the whole body.
Right. It affects the vasculature and circulation and all those things. So, and so my pursuit has given me the chance now to communicate to people about the coronavirus, the COVID-19, because who are the 2 populations of people who are more likely to pass away from it? It's older and poor immune systems. So there are things that I deliver. We deliver in the office on a daily basis that are not found in an eye doctor near you, which is in the form of this alphabet soup. It's light, photobiomodulation, magnetic fields, that's pulsed electromagnetic fields, oxygen and ozone, different frequencies. And so my path started going down there.
I got to stop you.
Yep.
What do you mean
you people come by my office. I have patients, and they're given choices. And people are given choices.
Oh, okay.
And some of the choices are, if you want to improve your circulation and your oxygenation and your immune system, then you can do these things. And I have a number of tools in the office. Magnetic fields that NASA uses on the space station. Light that's used by different research centers, doctors, that you can expose the eye to improve the circulation and help the retina cleanse itself. So I have a couple little mantras, which is, one is circulation, inflammation, minerals, and voltage. And you got to fix the gut, to fix the body, to fix the brain, to fix the eye. So I always try to simplify things. And so for the people who are trying to understand this ozone, I sent you this the other day in your mail. Think of 3 pictures. There's a football player on the sideline with an oxygen mask on his face so he can get back in the game. There's Dr. Banner turning into the Incredible Hulk, and you have a bug zapper. And so the use of ozone, when you take ozone, it breaks into O2 and O1. O2 is the oxygen. It allows you to get back in the game. The O1 is what turns your body into the Incredible Hulk. It upregulates your immune system. It awakens your immune system. And the third thing is the O1 also kills the bugs in your body, the viruses, the bacteria, the protozoans and whatnot. And because they can't turn
bad bacteria.
No, the good too. And so when people are using ozone, you want to replenish your gut with the better bacteria, and it depends on how much you're using and whatnot. But so the bug zapper, because the bugs don't have an immune system. So if I expose your body to ozone, the O1 is going to make your immune system stronger and wake it up, and it's also going to kill the bugs that are in there. So and that's part of what people can do in coming away from this terrible time we're in right now. The discussion needs to truly be had about what are Americans doing, what are people doing to be healthier, when people decide to make those efforts into improving their health, then we as a population will be healthier. Because if we can, with the click of a finger, you can eliminate all the people with bad immune systems, the death count wouldn't be what it is. Your eyes would be better. Your liver's going to be better. Your brain's going to be better. And your focus is going to be better, and so on and so forth.
Has the lifestyle of our current generation worsened our overall physical health and immune system?
I'd recommend that people go. I recommend people go to a website, cureamd.org. CUREAMD for age-related macular degeneration.org, and for $10 you can get their book by Chris Nobley. And he's an ophthalmologist who went back and does a phenomenal job of showing how processed foods are linked up with diabetes, cardiovascular disease, macular degeneration, cancer, and whatnot. It's a big, long story. We don't have the time to talk about it here, but people can go look. Go to cureamd.org, and that's just an ophthalmologist who himself was sick, and they were putting him on Humira, a drug that tamps down your immune system.
It's on TV all the time.
Okay, and so that's kind of crazy. So so he was put on a immune system quelling or tamping drug, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go keto. I'm going to change everything about my life, and 80% of his symptoms went away. He's done all this research, and he's committed his life to proselytizing these things. And so long story short, yes, we for the past 100 years have had worse food in our body. You have a choice to go to buy some broccoli from the Wereneck Produce that's grown in a local farm with somebody used fish and cow manure in the soil. You have that choice, or buy something that came out of China or Mexico. What do you want? And you go, oh yeah, I'd rather have the good stuff. So we're exposed to things we put in our body, processed, fake, fast food, and we eat too much, too wrong, and too often. Fasting, Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung out of Canada, Fung, go listen to him. We don't have to eat as much as we eat. And when you eat more, your body has to process it more. It's taking energy to put it in your gut away from everything else. And then you have all the negative byproducts of this. People eat Chinese drywall. You wouldn't make your house out of Chinese drywall. Then why make your body out of Chinese drywall?
Whoa. What do you mean people eat Chinese drywall?
If you're building, another thing I'll say, if you're building a room, you wouldn't build it out of Chinese drywall.
No. Okay. Years ago, we had that big controversy.
Right. So they use bad products in making the drywall. Well, the same thing goes, why eat food that's equivalent to Chinese drywall? Okay. And so you go, oh, yeah, well, it's a problem. And so you're creating inflammation.
Logic says.
Yes, sir.
And I used this example before. Logic says if you have an abscess tooth, it can affect your entire body.
Yes.
So I guess logic says that if you have things going wrong in your body, it can affect your eyes.
Without a doubt. I mean, yes. And I educate people, give them opportunities to turn over a leaf should they want to. And it's a hard process of running a practice, trying to stay on time, and giving people choices. So I'm getting better at being quick and finding out who's a window shopper and who's going to buy into my beliefs. If you don't want to, that's fine. But then we go from there. And with this COVID,
now what about, and this sounds very basic. What about the guy, I come in there and we do an eye exam and I go, and you start talking to me about, and I go, look, I just want a pair of glasses.
Yep.
That's all I need, right? Give me a pair of glasses.
Yes. I have no interest if you have no interest. Okay. And because
what I'm getting at, I guess, is I don't want to scare people away.
Oh, but yeah, we have questionnaires. Answer the questions, and we go look at it. And so people directly ask, "Are you interested in?" And if you said yes in the reception area, and you can change your mind to no by the time you get back to the exam room, and we do stay on time. And but the point is, if Neil wants some of this information, we schedule a time to reintroduce it to you more formally. I'll send you some emails and things like that, sources, just like I did right now. A couple sources. They just pop out of my head because I talk about them all the time. We'll all be better if we're all better. We just have to, we get addicted to the taste of certain foods. There's an International Flavorings Institute, which is their whole job is to make you addicted. If you want to think about I won't name names, just think of those flavors you like, and then ask your question, is it real food? Is it real food? Does it grow, swim, run, or fly and not toxic? And that's basically when you're looking at your plate, you go, well.
So you're saying my love of hot dogs has been created by some institute somewhere?
Oh, without a doubt.
I love hot dogs.
Sure, and so enjoy the nitrates that are in there. Okay, so if on the back of the package there's a bunch of words you can't pronounce,
which I never look at.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then enjoy your problems. Okay, and so the longest lived people on this earth are poor people who live at the base of mountains. Poor means they don't go eat every day because they don't have the funds to do it. But when they do eat, they eat mineral-rich, good foods. And so the mice in a cage, these studies go on over and over and over again. The mice that are given 2 hours to eat in a window of 24 hours versus they have food available all day, those mice who are allowed to have one meal a day for 2 hours, they live longer, healthier lives with fewer diseases. And now we're back to inflammation. Now we're back to autoimmune problems. And I had a woman in the office yesterday who has a mold problem. And she was on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. She was at 10. And her inability to live a life successfully. And she's being detoxified now. And she's on a years-long process. And there's things you can do because she had a moldy environment. And she's referred to me because I have a growing group of doctors who are aware of what I do. And they just can't do it. They don't have the time to do it. But they know, hey, I'll raise my hand and say, yeah, I'll help you with that. And it's fascinating.
So... But when we get back to, I have to keep going back to the facts so that people realize you are Dr. Wilcox. Mm-hmm. You are an eye doctor.
Yes.
That is your main practice.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to visiting, given the opportunity, you look at as many factors as possible that could be affecting that left eye that has gone very bad.
Well, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, retinitis pigmentosa, all these itis and omas and opathies. Okay, that's what they are. Everything's got at the end of the word has itis, oma, opathy, okay?
Okay.
So when you're sick. And so the smallest blood vessels in the body per unit area are in the eye. There is a turnover of cells in the back of the eye every 2 days. Every 2 days, you're making all these new cells in the outer segments of your photoreceptors. And so we have a ton of deconstruction and construction of cells. If you can't get it out of the way, this studio, we have to tear it down, we have to build it back.
Right.
And you're doing this all day long. You have to haul it off. If you can't haul it off because you have poor circulation, because you have poor oxygenation, then it piles up. And that's, simply put, kind of what one form of macular degeneration is. So you need to do things in order to build good cells, tear down the old ones. It's called autophagy in this the fancy words of cell turnover and death, and you have to haul it off. So you imagine these little dump trucks hauling it off, and and all these things have to be working well. And if you're not providing your body with the raw materials it needs to make the dump trucks to move the circulation around, then your problem's going to be there. So it's something I'm interested in and something I do. And
I have to add, the back of the eye recreates itself every 2 days?
Yeah, the outer segments, all of your body recreates itself over maybe, don't hold me to this, 6 months to 2 years, depends on the part of the body you're talking about. But the back of the eye, every 2 days, 2, maybe 3 days, there's parts of your photoreceptors, your light receptors, that are being hit with energy all day long, that are toughing it out to be there every 2 days. And so if you have to haul it off, you have to deconstruct it, haul off the trash, and reconstruct it. And so when some people have genetic problems and say, I have a bad blueprint for constructing things, that's one thing. But more people have a problem with their trash trucks of the dead cells not hauling off, and they accumulate things. And it is cumulative disease processes. Diabetes, the number of people who drink soda, cancer loves sugar.
I drink now. Huh? I tell people, I drink 1 cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. I don't smoke. Mm-hmm. I don't do drugs. Mm-hmm. I drink Diet Coke.
Okay.
I love Diet Coke.
Okay.
I've been drinking it for years.
And in part,
I know it cleans.
One, you have to live, you have to enjoy things. 2, it's kind of like then enjoy your disease, and because it's not okay. So if you think another metaphor I'll use, so if you come home and your spouse is by drinking a real soda, your spouse says, I cheated on you today, but just a little bit. You go, well, there's no such thing as a little bit. And if you go, well, I have a diet soda, that's your spouse saying, I cheated on you with a short guy. And so it's still a cheat. And no one's
But I mean, I'm okay with that.
Okay, there you go. Then, but it's part of the formula for health. This plus this minus that equals health. And so you just want to put the more minus signs in your equation to have good health. Good. Okay. And it's all tied together.
And again, I want to remind everybody that when you go to Dr. Wilcox, it does not mean that when you walk in and sit down that he is going to go through this whole thing with you.
Can't.
Whether you want it or you don't want it, there's a build up to it. And it's all up to you. If you're going in for an eye exam and you want glasses, great, that's what he does. And that's what he's excellent at. But if you want to explore other things that may be causing that need for eyeglasses and other aspects of your health, that's what he's there for. How was that for an explanation?
Well, that is good. I have a sign on the front of the office. It's called, it's on the opposite side of the window from my normal eye doctor sign. It's called Eye Energenetics Wellness Consultants. It's a secondary business I have. And I means you, okay? And I'm also an eye doctor, so it's a play on words. Ener is for energy, and genetics is something people want to hide behind all the time. But the fact is, with your genetics, your body is always playing a game of a whack-a-mole where, you can think of Darth Vader, the black mole, and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, the white mole. You want to suppress the black, that dark, that negative gene. And you want to express the good gene, the white knight, okay? And so our bodies are always trying to suppress the bad stuff and express the good stuff.
Right, I gotta cut you off.
Okay, so don't do things that deny you the chance for optimizing your health, and that's the story.
Doc Wilcox is going to be back on May 7th, I believe it is.
Yep.
At 8:35, and we'll explore a little more. Right? It's always interesting. I always have to say, excuse me for the interruptions, but I feel like I've got to bring you back to my level sometimes.
Yeah, I apologize.
No. I mean, today you were very good, and I understand what's going on, but I also want to make it clear that you're an eye doctor, and if somebody has an eye problem or they need an exam and they need glasses, come see you. And then if you want to explore other stuff, the door is open.
Thank you, Neil. That's true.
All right, Dr. Wilcox. The morning show being brought to you by SodaBank. Big believers in you at 724.
At SodaBank, we're helping our customers make the most of their hard-earned money.